What's going on, guys? It's MachinimaSound, and today I'm going to be doing my first LEGO Marvel Superheroes 2016 set review on the Avenjet space mission, and the set number for this one is 76049. The recommended ages are 7 through 14, and it has a piece count of 523, while the price point is $59.99, and this set is really nice. For the most part, you get a really great set of minifigures. Our first Thanos big fig. I mean, and then the other figures, you know, they're really awesome. They have a few, like maybe a couple, one or two minor problems. And then you get a build, which really isn't as big as you might think. And overall just looks absolutely ridiculous, even though that's not really on the LEGO Group's part, that this design comes straight out of the Avengers Assemble series. So, I mean, this set, do I think it's worth 60 bucks? Kind of, but I'll get into all the reasons just as to why, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first we're going to take a look at Captain Marvel, and then we'll work our way all the way up to Thanos, and a quick disclaimer, if you couldn't already tell clicking on this video, this is definitely going to be my longest review that I've done this month, hands down. But anyway, this iteration of Captain Marvel, I wasn't able to find the specific version that it's based off of. It seems like the hairstyle was taken from one recent iteration of Captain Marvel, and the suit from another, and I'm pretty sure she didn't look like this on Avengers Assemble either, so I mean, I could be dead wrong though. Definitely let me know in the comments if there is a specific version of Captain Marvel that this is based off of. I know Civil War 2 is coming out pretty soon, and I think maybe this was taken from that version, possibly, I don't know, but anyway, the torso design is really awesome. You can see the detail on it is fantastic, all the different lines, the zipper, and every bit of detail that basically just makes it come together as being the definitive Captain Marvel torso. It looks awesome, but sadly, like all minifigures that have belt printing, you can see the separation effect really took its toll on the whole, you know, the design continuing onto the belt and onto the leg, and sadly, you can see that blue stripe that just runs right through it. Definitely sticks a fork in the design, sadly. And it, you know, it looks, you know, the separation effect, it has, you know, sometimes it just looks really horrible on minifigures, and, you know, on others it isn't as noticeable, but sadly it's really bad on Captain Marvel. And you can see again that leg printing, as I just said, that is an extension of the belt and the torso, so that's really nice to have it going onto the right leg there. So yeah, then also the back of the torso is just as awesome. You can see featuring the same quality detail, just as consistent, and you know, it's consistent rather with the rest of it, so that's really nice. Then she has her hairpiece is actually blonde sleepy hair, which is definitely really nice and accurate to one of the recent iterations of Captain Marvel, and a lot of recent iterations of Captain Marvel in general, to be honest. But sadly, the minifigure was given Wonder Woman's face, and there goes LEGO again, rehashing heads. And I'm not gonna lie though, it really doesn't look bad. You cannot say that it looks terrible, and especially when you go ahead and you flip it around, it really doesn't look bad. You can see the more aggressive facial expression is definitely better, I would say, for the character. But I mean, I'm not gonna say that it was a bad rehash, because, you know, even though it is Wonder Woman's face, and yes, it's noticeable, at least it works, and it doesn't look terrible. So yeah, then if we go ahead and take off her blonde sleepy hair along with the Wonder Woman head, you can see that LEGO did actually go out of their way to include the version with her mask on, and that's really awesome. You can see that the mouth is actually exactly the same as Wonder Woman's aggressive mouth as well, so that's a little design note I just wanted to point out there, and also the eyes and everything else printed on there. It makes her a really cool head, and I'm really glad LEGO included that. You really do get the full Captain Marvel package if you can get past the fact that she has Wonder Woman's face. So yeah, aside from that though, that's pretty much it for our I can't, that's it for our first official Captain Marvel figure. And now that I have my voice under control, we have the freaking Mark 39 space suit from Iron Man 3. This is the freaking Gemini suit made into an official LEGO minifigure. We finally have another Iron Legion suit from Iron Man 3. We've had, you know, we had the Silver Centurion coming up in the event, you know, the Marvel Avengers game. We've had, you know, the Scuba suit, and I think probably one or two others that I'm missing from the Iron Legion, but it's still so awesome to, you know, be still 3 years later almost, well, I guess it will be 3 years in May, still be getting Iron Legion suits. This is so great because this minifigure is so great, and we'll go ahead and start off with the helmet. The helmet is actually molded in a white color now, which is so great. We have Iron Man suits in so many colors now. First dark red, then dark gray. We're gonna have it in black in the upcoming Civil War sets. We're gonna have one, we had one, you know, in dark blue in the Iron Patriot, now white, along with sand green in the other Marvel set that I'm not going to be reviewing, or at least most likely. and you can see that this is definitely a really great new helmet. And then the front of it, the mask part that flips up, is really great as well. And before I do so, you can see the printing on it is fantastic, and the blue in the eyes does actually have like some white in it, so it looks so awesome. And you can see that like the black lines and everything about the printing is really great. And what's really awesome about it is you can see that this is actually like the mask piece itself that flips up is also in a white color now too, with the gold print on it. So I mean, it's all really awesome in terms of the helmet. And then we have a regular Tony Stark head, basic, you've probably seen in this side of the Tony Stark face, and then this, the aggressive facial expression. I'm sure you've seen it before. There's nothing new here, unfortunately, but that's totally cool because the minifigure in general is awesome, regardless of what head is underneath. And you can see that the torso is really, really nicely detailed and super accurate to the Gemini suit from Iron Man 3. And you can see that the repulsor, or not the repulsor, the arc reactor has like this white ring printed into the center, which is a really nice touch. And then all the surrounding detail is fantastic. And then the same can be said for the legs and that pattern that runs through the like metallic gunmetal areas. It's just so fantastic looking. The printing on the knees connecting to the thighs is like, just totally seamless. And the toe printing, it is like this minifigure is just like the full package, and that's awesome. And if we go ahead and remove the entire helmet along with the head, along with the thrusters here, and by the way, the thrusters are basically just like this clear, you guys have probably seen this piece before, just like this basic clear neck brace that has the two studs on it. You can go ahead and that LEGO in this instance has put these two smooth tiles on, or I guess smooth studs, and you can see the back is equally as awesome and equally as accurate and just even more detailed than the front, which is really impressive. And all the little lines that run through the gold sections of the design, it's so freaking awesome. So I think I'm about done gushing over this suit because honestly I think this might just be one of my favorite Iron Man suits we have had to date, if not my favorite. I don't know, this minifigure is just awesome, and hands down, I mean, it's hard to, honestly, I think this figure is the best part of the set. Next up, we have our new outer space version of the Avengers Assemble Captain America minifigure, as you remember him from that original Hydra Showdown set thing. But anyway, yeah, so I'll just go ahead and just say, I'll start off with the shield. The shield is the exact same one that you remember him having in that set, and then unfortunately it continued on into the Age of Ultron sets. Hopefully we're not going to get this color with the Civil War sets, although I'm almost positive we are. I was just looking at the pictures of those upcoming sets pretty like a day or two or so ago, so I think sadly we're still going to have this color, and I don't think dark red is going to be returning into the foreseeable future, unfortunately. So yeah, there's that. Then the torso is exactly the same as the previous Avengers Assemble Captain America minifigure. There's nothing new here at all, but the torso design is still really nice and really detailed. It looks like it was taken straight out of either a comic or straight out of course, the TV series, and the metallic colors, the metallic like silver in there, as well as a really nice touch for the sections underneath, like the blue and then the belt buckle. So there's that. And then we'll go ahead and remove the head temporarily, just so I can give you a look at this new breather piece that he has. And this is an entirely new piece, and it's actually like, I think it can be gripped by a minifigure. You can kind of see that it looks like it can. I don't know. Let's go ahead and test the theory. I'm pretty sure a minifigure can hold one of these. It looks like maybe not. Can it be clipped? No. Possibly. No. Cannot. Okay, just wanted to try. Anyway, yeah, so the piece is definitely pretty cool. There's not much to say about it other than it's just, a breather piece that is a little bit big, but still really nice regardless. And yeah, so we're going to go ahead and just leave that off for right now so you can see the actual head itself. And to be honest, this, I have to say, is our best Captain America head ever. I don't know what it is, but those blue eyes and the white print within them just look really cool. And then also, even though the skin tone is pale and it still does suffer from that same, the printing problem of getting the skin tone correct on a, dark color, at least this looks better than the super tanned version of Captain America's head and like the super tanned version of Batman and all those other ones that suffer from that problem. Because honestly, I would rather have this than that. So yeah, then if we go ahead and turn this head around, by the way, I really like the mouth design on that as well. If we go ahead and turn the head around, you can see there's actually a really great deal of printing on the back as well. And it's really detailed and really awesome, and just honestly something that you wouldn't really expect from LEGO, and you wouldn't really think that's necessary, or at least in their eyes, but I'm really glad they did that. And yeah, so if we go ahead and remove the head entirely so that you can get a look at his jetpack here. This is, I guess, like his jump pack, whatever you want to refer to it as. It's included in this set, and it's basically just a couple of white lightsaber hilts, a couple of trans red studs, you know, some clips, a hinge 1x2 piece there, and then, you know, it's attached to this new clear neck bracelet LEGO's been using for the past year. And then the two blue studs on the top do actually have a couple of stars printed on them for Captain America as well, so that's really awesome. And then on the back you can see the back of the torso design. You can see it actually does have the star on the back as well, unlike, you know, like the movie iterations of Captain America. So that's pretty much it though for this entire minifigure, and I'm definitely really fond of this version of Captain America. And like I said, honestly, the head is definitely my favorite one that they've printed so far. It just, for once, looks pretty awesome. Okay, so Hyperion, I think, is a character that most people probably are not familiar with. I know I was definitely one of those people, and I still am, to be honest with you. I know he has, like, Superman's exact same abilities, and it's, like, almost, I mean, pretty much exact, and he, like, blew up his planet, apparently. I'm not going to pretend like I'm familiar with the character. I had no idea who he was until I saw the pictures of this set, and honestly, I thought he was a superhero until I actually paid attention to this set, and I paid attention to who the character actually was for this review. So anyway, the minifigure itself is really nice. You can see the torso design is simple, basic, really not a whole lot going on, but still really cool. Love the symbol in the center and all the little circles that are printed onto that gold section there. Unfortunately, again, belt separation, that really doesn't, you know, look that great on the minifigure, but it's not terrible looking. And then he even has leg printing as well, and all those like little circle details that you saw on the torso do continue onto the legs, and the red printing on them as well is really nice to see. You know, the connection between the red printing on the thighs going onto the knees there is really seamless looking and really nice. He does actually have the double molded arms, which is really nice as well, and these are actually double molded arms. You know, you have like the sleeves in red and then the rest of the arm in a flesh tone, so that's really awesome. The more double molded flesh arms that we get, the better, and yeah, so that's really awesome to have. And then Hyperion, unfortunately, as you might have been able to already tell, does sadly have Superman's face. This is the new Superman face from the Dawn of Justice set, and you can see this one in particular that I got here on Hyperion is like really faded on this side, and he's smiling because at first he tries to fool Earth into thinking that he's, you know, he's out to, you know, help and protect the planet, but then obviously he's not. So then you have the aggressive facial expression. This is actually the heat vision side because Hyperion does actually have the ability of heat vision just like Superman. So sadly, another minifigure head rehash, and LEGO did not hesitate because these sets came out on the exact same day as the Dawn of Justice sets, and you already have the head rehashed in another set that came out on the same day, so that's not a good thing. Anyway, the cape is new to my knowledge, and it's definitely really nice in this really bright yellow color, so that's really cool. There's not much to say about it other than I do really love the shape, and hopefully we'll see more capes like this, and maybe this one even rehashed in like black or something down the line, because it's definitely a really nice addition to the minifigure, and it's nice to see that debut with the character, even though I don't really know who the hell he is. So yeah, aside from that though, there's your debut of Hyperion. And finally, holy crap, we have our first ever Thanos Big Fig. Now this is something I did not think we would ever see in a LEGO set until 2018 with Avengers Infinity War Part 1. But LEGO, they've gone ahead and made this version of Thanos as a Big Fig, and this is fantastic. And granted, it's not very detailed, but that's fine because the Big Fig in general is just awesome looking. I mean, a lot of people don't really like the face on Thanos here, and personally, I'm not one of those people. The smile doesn't bother me. I like the lines that are beneath it. I like everything about it. The only two things that I can really nitpick about the Thanos Big Fig here, I don't really like the skin tone. I thought it could have been like maybe 1 or 2 shades darker. That's some obvious nitpicking. But then the eyes, I don't think needed to be blue. I think the eyes should have been a straight black with the regular white pupils rather than these blue color eyes, because it does look a little bit awkward for the Big Fig. I don't really think the blue was the right way to go, but aside from that, the whole Big Fig is just awesome. I mean, the dark blue parts, the gold parts that have now been added here, I mean, everything about this entire new mold is just like so awesome. And also, I should point out that this is actually like on the front of the Big Fig. Apparently, it appears to be like, for the most part, all printing, because it looks like the base color piece of the whole Big Fig is gold, and then like all this blue on the chest and the thighs and the head, it's all printed on. So that is very impressive. This whole Big Fig is very impressive. Is he my favorite Big Fig so far? No, probably not. I mean, I really do like Gorilla Grodd and Darkseid and the Age of Ultron Hulk, and Thanos just doesn't, there's something missing about Thanos. I don't know what it is. It's just, he's not my favorite Big Fig so far. I don't know what that problem is though, so I can't complain about a problem. I don't actually, if I don't actually know what it is. But regardless, this Thanos Big Fig, it is fantastic. And aside from the Mark 39 Gemini suit that was debuted in this set, Thanos is amazing. I'm so surprised we got him this early. I'm just hoping that we won't get him this version in the 2018 Avengers 3 sets, because it's like, I don't want an inaccurate version of Thanos to be rehashed. So, fingers crossed. Anyway, that's it for all the minifigures in this review. Thank you if you stuck around this far. We're going to go ahead and finally take a look at the build itself. Before we take a look at the actual set itself, we do have Thanos's like jump boots, or just referred to as regular boots by the LEGO group with stud shooters on them. They're actually referred to, like, the official name is stud shooting boots or something. So yeah, but you can see the design of these is actually pretty decent, and the use of the stud shooter is actually incorporated on really nicely. And then you can see the stud shooters, they're just using some pink studs, which is pretty nice, and definitely nails the whole, like, the colors of Thanos, and makes for something, it's a really seamless addition to the Big Fig, and you just go ahead and just attach those, because obviously Big Figs, their feet are 3x3, like the base of them is a 3x3 plate, and then you can see you have a 3x3 available plate on each boot, so it works really nicely. And then you have these two flaps you just fold over once you put them on, and it's really good, and they don't actually break or anything when you pull these off of his feet. The stud shooters, they can be rotated a full 360 degrees, which is really nice as well. Then you have these, like, I guess, like the thrusters, or like, the actual, the exhaust coming from them on the bottom here, represented with more pink studs. So overall, I think the boots are actually a really nice addition to the Big Fig, and definitely something to display them with. And yeah, so that's pretty much it though. Okay, so the Avenjet itself. God, that name is dumb. Honestly, the whole design of this thing is dumb. LEGO did a great job. I have to say, they did a great job. The designers behind this, I mean, for what you can assume is a scaled down version of the Avenjet from Avengers Assemble, the build is great. The whole design of the build itself is fine. It's just the actual design of the vehicle from the show looks like, I don't know, like a bootleg horrible version of like a Republic gunship from the Clone Wars. I don't know what I'm looking at. It looks like a fire truck with two cockpits. I mean, it looks ridiculous. And again, LEGO did a great job of portraying it. It's just coming from somebody who's never bothered to watch a single episode from the series, this thing just looks just dumb. So anyway, the whole build itself is packed with stickers, it's packed with functions, and it's packed with playability. So we're going to start with the stickers. And the stickers, you can see we have AV12112. I'm guessing the AV stands for Avengers, and I am not even going to bother to guess with, to assume, I'm not even going to pretend to know what the numbers stand for. But you can see you do have one on that angled brick right there in the very front there, and then behind that, right beneath the cockpit on that 1x6 tile, you have a no step sticker, and then you also have a sticker right here for some, I don't know, there's just a sticker on that 2x2 white tile, just for like some added red. I honestly don't know why that's there. And then you also have the AV12112 again, but this time you have two stickers to form that on two white 1x2 cheese slopes, and then on this slope here you have another one for added detail. This whole dish piece is printed, and that's really, really nice. That's awesome. I'm so glad that that's not a sticker, of course, and it just looks really great. I kind of wish that it was on like some kind of piece that would have allowed for it to spin, so that's kind of a loss, but I mean, because it is stuck in place, but it's still, the design printed on it looks nice. And then you also have the Avengers symbol printed onto these angled, like these little bits of the wings, on the very tips here. By the way, these can be adjusted, which is really nice, and what you're seeing here are pretty much the stopping points for bending it up and down. And then you can see there's a flick fire missile beneath each one of these. There are flick fire missiles on top of, like, not on top, but just like pretty much in every little spot imaginable on this build. And by the way, so I should just say right now, all the stickers that I just pointed out on this side, like just looking at that, all those stickers are exactly the same, just inverted on the other side. So there's really not much to talk about in terms of stickers, so I'm not going to point all those out individually, but you can see we do have another Avengers symbol right here on the top, and then inside the cockpit, the main cockpit, you can see we do have a nice little graphic here which shows, you can kind of see, like, I'm dropping the whole build, you can see it kind of has like a little, you can sort of see like it's supposed to be like a silhouette of Thanos, and then I guess, is gathering information on whatever, abilities he's using to fight them in this scenario. So yeah, now that we have this cockpit open, I guess we'll just go ahead and take Captain Marvel, and we'll put her right in there. And I don't know what that yellow thing is supposed to be. I mean, it looks more like a can of mustard, or a thing of mustard, than it does a fire hydrant, but I guess you can assume that it is just a fire hydrant that is right behind her, and it's kind of really awkward and totally out of place, if you ask me. But it is there, and it's just worth pointing out. But yes, you can just put Captain Marvel in there. She just kind of lays down in the cockpit, and the main cockpit is actually on a couple of hinges as well. And what you're seeing here are the stopping points for this. It doesn't really go very far. The whole idea behind these hinges is that this is what it's supposed to look like when it's flying, and then when it's landed, the whole thing basically, like the flick fire missiles, act as the landing gear. So then when the cockpit is folded straight like this, it just sits, you can rest it on a flat surface perfectly, and that's really nice. So yeah, now the second cockpit is where you'll see the final sticker here, and you can see the final sticker is pretty nice. It doesn't really show much. I'm not really sure what that graphic is supposed to represent, but it is still a nice little one to have on that 1x2 light bluish gray, or not light bluish gray, but light blue, or I guess rather medium blue tile. And then you have another 4x4 space available in there, and I guess we'll go ahead and take Captain America. I almost said Marvel again, and we'll take off his jetpack here, and we'll go ahead and seat him inside. So yeah, it's nice to have like a straight up set of studs available for you to put the minifigures in, rather than just like an axle piece or just like no studs at all. So that's really nice. You can just put him right in there just like that. So yeah, now before we go over the main functionality of the build, I do want to show you where all the stud shooters and flick fire missiles are located. And as I pointed out, the flick fire missiles on these like the tips of the wings, I almost said winges, the wings here, you can see those are there, and then it's the same on this side as well. And then you have some flick fire missiles on the bottom, and again, these are pretty much the landing gear for the whole build. And so I mean, like I said, that's really nice. But yeah, so flick fire missiles, if you don't know how they work, you just flick them, and half the time they work, half the time they work, and half the time they don't, and half the time I can speak, and half the time I can't. So yeah, and then you can see we have a couple stud shooters on the top here as well. And if you don't know how stud shooters work, you just push down on the gray levers, and then the studs fire, and they've always been really effective. So yeah, then we have one other flick fire missile that I did not point out, and that's the one right beneath the cockpit, and you can see that right there. So this thing is loaded and just like full. I mean, this thing has a lot of firepower, and LEGO's definitely portrayed that really well here, on the build. And then speaking of Captain America's jetpack, thankfully there are a couple of clips on the back which are actually acting as pretty much like a storage for the accessories that you take off of Captain America, and that's really awesome. You can take his jetpack, put it on this clip here, and then you can take his shield and put it on the other clip, and that's fantastic. I love it when LEGO does things like this, because it's just like, I can't tell you how annoying it is when you have when you have accessories that either fall off the minifigure easily, like this jetpack, or you have an accessory that you can't always have on the minifigure if you have it in the vehicle. So having it on these clips, or just having these clips integrated into the build, is something I always appreciate. So yeah, you also have these really nice trans red slopes for the engines, and those are really fantastic and definitely useful for mock builders, so those are in there as well if you want to tear those off for whatever reason. And then the main functionality of this build, we are almost done with this thing. You can see on the bottom here we have like this little set of Technic pieces and a little I guess this little bar piece, little yellow like bracket in there, and you go ahead and all you pretty much do is just push it up. You just push that whole section up, and then the Avenjet pretty much just does that, gets into position, and then you can just pull the thing off. And or did I say the Avenjet? Like this little like I guess this this part of the Avenjet detaches to basically be its own little smaller version of it that can just basically make this whole thing split into two, which is really nice as well. And also what's really cool about this is you can go ahead and have Iron Man, his little repulsor cylinders are like rolling to kill me here. If you just to get those out of the way though, you can go ahead and take Iron Man, put him on those little sets of studs there, and if you want, you can go ahead and position him kind of like that, pretty much, and just bend his legs a little bit, get him in position, and so you can have the whole jet like already locked into the main body of the Avenjet. And what you can also do if you want to, you don't necessarily have to do this, because honestly it kind of complicates things, but you can have it ready to go, and then you can push on Iron Man instead, and then have the whole thing come up, so you have both Iron Man fly out, and then you can detach the smaller portion of the Avenjet. So I mean, like I said at the start of this segment of the video, there's a lot of functionality definitely with the Avenjet, there's a lot of playability and a lot of fun to be had, especially for kids. Regardless of how dumb the design is in the show or how ridiculous the entire idea of it is, you do have a really great set here with a lot of really great playability features, and it makes for an overall really nice set. It's just, I'm not really sure I can recommend this whole thing for 60 bucks. I mean, personally, I definitely would have put this at a nice, you know, and I guess, you know, a safer number at like $50. But I mean, if you're willing to go the extra $10 to get this, you know, really nice set, for the most part, again, the design is ridiculous, but I mean, you know, that's not the LEGO Group's fault. You get a really nice set of minifigures. It's just, I can't really recommend a set that is too expensive, but then at the same time I can. So if you're willing again to do that extra $10, totally go for this set. You get the freaking Mark 39 from Iron Man 3, a minifigure I never thought we'd see LEGO make, your first ever Thanos big fig, and Hyperion along with Captain Marvel, and a nice and semi-improved Captain America, you know. So I mean, it's overall a really great set, and I would definitely recommend it if you're willing to pick up something, you know, if you're not familiar with the, you know, the Avenjet in the series, you still get a great set of minifigures, and if you are familiar with this series, you get a whole entire great set in general. So yeah, 60 bucks though, that's up to you. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this entire review. We're gonna go ahead and take a look at the box, instruction manual, extra pieces, and the comic book as well, and then we'll wrap up this video. This is a long review, man. The box is definitely pretty awesome for this space mission. You've obviously got the entire scenario taking place in space, and the graphic on the front is overall really cool. Then you also have all the minifigures included with this set on the top here, along with the Mark 39 spacesuit supporting the actual size reference, and then you also have all the features that I just went over, the minifigures to build, and all of it on the back of the box, along with some advertisements for LEGO Marvel Superheroes, or actually LEGO Marvel Avengers that's coming out pretty soon, along with you know, a little like tag on the bottom there that says comic book included, and then an advertisement for LEGO.com/Marvel Superheroes saying build something bigger. So a little bit more going on with the box than your typical box, and it's definitely pretty awesome and gets the job done. The instruction manual is actually a pretty decent length. It actually comes up to a total of 110 pages, and you can see that number right there in the bottom left corner. And then we have some advertisement over here for both of the new Avengers Assemble sets, and it's definitely pretty cool. And again, I'm not sure if I'll be reviewing the set on the bottom here, but it definitely looks pretty cool, especially the Iron Man suit, as I hopefully showed earlier on in this review, if I remembered. Anyway, you also have an advertisement for the upcoming LEGO Marvel Avengers game, which is going to be pretty sweet, coming out at the end of this month. And then we also do have an advertisement for LEGO.com/Marvel Superheroes again, and obviously this time showcasing some of the new additions for the upcoming game, and some of the new Avengers Assemble, like I guess graphic additions as well. So pretty awesome, man. Definitely a really solid instruction manual. The comic book this time around is actually pretty awesome. I honestly can't decide which cover I like more, this cover or the cover from the Dawn of Justice sets. Both are really awesome. So anyway, I'm going to do exactly what I usually do with the comic books. I'm just going to flip through them and let you go ahead, and you can go ahead and pause them if that's what you want to do, and just have a look at all these illustrations. They're all really sweet. It's just they're definitely not very good on the overall time of my reviews, as really nice as, you know, again, as really nice as they are. But yeah, so just again flipping through all of this. If you want to pause at any point, you are welcome to do so. And then the back here we have a really cool checklist for all the minifigures included with these two new sets. And man, it is just so cool to see a Thanos big fig, Captain Marvel, and the Iron Man Mark 39 on the back of one of these, along with the freaking scuba suit. It's just so cool to see some of these characters made in LEGO form in official sets. But yeah, there you go. Okay, and finally, we do get a lot of extra pieces with this set. This set definitely has a lot going for it here with the extra pieces. And you do have a couple of extra red wing pieces. I just want to say right now, these are actually extra pieces. I mean, I went through the instruction manual 2 times over, could not find any place for these on the build, and then I asked a friend of mine, and he said that he had the same thing with his. So these are, as far as I know, extra pieces, and I don't know why, but they are. And then we also do get an extra white lightsaber hilt, and then a smooth 1x1 blue stud with the Captain America star on it, as you know, which is obviously coming from his jetpack. So that's pretty nice. Get an extra one of these, and then a new piece, and we're already getting extra ones, the breather, and that's really cool as well. Nice addition to the extra pieces. That's really nice to have an extra one of. And then we also do get a lot of extra studs, and a lot of trans blue ones, especially the couple of these studs obviously obviously meant for the Mark 39 Iron Man suit, along with the cylinder for his repulsors. And then the rest is just a lot of really nice studs, a bunch of like trans pink ones, some connectors, a gold 1x1 smooth stud, and just, you know, it's overall a really solid pile of extra pieces for this set. You know, the rest of the sets I reviewed this month did not really have as nice of a set of extra pieces. So yeah, aside from that though, guys, that is really it for this entire review. I'm pretty sure this is my longest review so far this month. I haven't edited this video yet, obviously, at the time of recording this. Yeah, I'm guessing this video is going to be pretty long, so I just have to say thank you for sticking around for what will probably be my only review on one of these two Marvel sets that have come out on January 1st. So I definitely recommend going for this set. Again, I already talked about all of that, so we're going to go ahead and finally conclude this video. He doesn't have the gauntlet! Alright guys, and there you go, my review on the Avenjet space mission, and this will probably be my only LEGO Marvel winter set review because I don't plan on reviewing the other set. I don't really think I'll have time for it, as awesome as the Iron Man suit in that set is as well. I just don't really see it fitting into the schedule, but if you enjoyed this review, or maybe found it informative, or if this helped you in deciding as to whether or not you want to pick up this set, definitely let me know by dropping this video a like below and or your opinion on this set, or anything I said down in the comments, or any mistakes I might have made. It's all welcome. It really does go a long way, guys. So yeah, but other than that, guys, you can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links to all three of those are always down in the description below as well, and there I'm going to be posting all kinds of super cool stuff that I will eventually be bringing to the channel, but I'm still working on it at the moment, and stuff like that includes the Halo 5 Guardians Showcase, collaborative showcase. That's going to be my next video, or one of my next few videos. It's going to be somewhere before the month ends, and also I'm doing Deadpool minifigures right in the middle of February, so that's going to be awesome. I'm really working hard on 2 minifigures to celebrate that film, and then I'm going, you know, just basically just straight into Batman vs. Superman after that. I've actually already really started on those minifigures, so a lot of awesome stuff that you'll see over there long before you see it on here, and that's why I always suggest them and or recommend them. That's probably a better word to put into that sentence. But anyway, I'm talking too long. I'm gonna go. There's the set. I'll see you guys later. All right. Bye.
Your skin is invulnerable. You have heat vision, freeze breath, superhuman senses, and you can fly.
So?
You're Superman.
I'm not-
And you get your powers from the sun.
Just because-
You even took his face.
And the set number for this one is 7 through 14. Those are the ages. Great. And then we'll work our way up into shit.
He wasn't the only one.
14, and it has been a little disclaimer there. And we also get an extra. Holy shit! Too many extra pieces. Just cap it off at words. Why? You know, the regular. You know, the fuck. You know, schedule. I give up.